You know Ariel the mermaid, right? We all wanted to be her in our school plays. That red hair, that voice, and that beautiful tail that we all dreamt of. Living underwater with no rules, no responsibilities, just vibes and a collection of random human things that she was obsessed with. According to us, she had everything. And then she saw a man on a boat. And everything that made her her, the curiosity, the wildness, that extraordinary voice, it suddenly started to feel like a problem to be solved. So she made a deal. She made a deal with the sea witch and traded her beautiful voice for legs. For legs, for his world, for the shape she thought love required her to take. Not because Eric asked her to. He didn't even know she existed yet. She did it all by herself. But somewhere deep down, she had already decided who I am as I am is not enough. Love is something you earn, and this is the price. We watched that as little girls and we called it romantic. Today, I want to talk about why that felt so familiar. She didn't have to give up her voice for Eric. She gave it up because she didn't believe that she deserved to be loved with it. And that is not a small thing. That is a woman who looked at everything she was and she decided, I am not enough. So she made herself into something more convenient. I have sat with so many women in my coaching room living this exact story. Not underwater, of course, and not with sea witches, but women who have spent years editing themselves down, softening their opinions, laughing off things that hurt, making themselves easier to love. And when I ask them, when did this start? They always go quiet. Not the thinking quiet, a lost quiet. Because it didn't start anywhere obvious. There was no single moment. It just accumulated, one small trade at a time. So why does this happen? Why do smart, self-aware women end up here, giving away their voice, their needs, their truth, without anyone even asking them to? There's a name for it. It's called the fawn response. You've heard of the fight or flight. When danger shows up, your body gets ready to fight it or run from it. The fawn response is the third option. That's the one nobody talks about. Now, fight or flight, it looks like action. The fawn looks like niceness. It looks like agreeing. It looks like smiling, saying, yes, papa, no, papa, whatever you say, papa. It's the nervous system saying, if I make myself small enough, easy enough, pleasant enough, the threat goes away. And now here's the part I need you to hear. Because this is where most of us opt out of our own story. We hear words like trauma and nervous system response and we think, that's not me. My childhood was fine. Nothing terrible happened. And that might be completely true. But the fawn response doesn't only grow in homes where terrible things happened. It grows in ordinary moments nobody would even remember. For instance, the mother who burst into tears every time you disagreed with her. So you learned that your opinion wasn't worth her tears. And you stopped having them. Or at least stopped saying them out aloud. The father who went completely silent for days when he was disappointed or stressed. And you spent your whole childhood reading the temperature of the room the second you walked into it, just in case. Or, and this one is a quiet killer, the home where nothing bad happened. You were fed, you were safe, you were looked after, but nobody was emotionally there. And so, you learn to need less, ask for less, become someone who doesn't take up too much room, because that space was already empty and asking to fill it up felt like too much. Nobody told you to shrink. You just noticed very early, very quietly, that smaller felt safer. And your nervous system, which is only ever trying to protect you, filed that away and made it automatic. Just like Ariel. She didn't stand at that contract thinking, I'm about to betray myself. She thought, this is what love costs, and I will pay it. The fond response doesn't feel like fear. It feels like love. It feels like being a good person. And that's exactly why so many of us are still doing it without even knowing we started. So I'm not going to leave us sitting in that, because awareness needs a next step. We don't want just information. So let me reach into my pocket tool for today. I'm calling this the Ariel mirror. Tonight, find a mirror, your bathroom, your bedroom, wherever. Stand in front of it and ask yourself out aloud, not in your head, aloud, 3 questions. Number 1, what did I want today that I didn't say? Not the big things. Could be tiny. I wanted to leave the conversation earlier. An apple tart. I wanted someone to ask me how I was. What did you want that stayed inside? The second question is, where did I make myself smaller so that someone else could become more comfortable? Where did you swallow something? Where did you smile when you actually wanted to say, that's not okay with me? And the third, what would I have said if I wasn't afraid of a reaction? Now, this is a real one. This is the voice that Ariel gave away. What is sitting in you now that you haven't already said because you decided it wasn't safe? You don't have to fix any of it tonight, but look at yourself in the eye when you ask. Because Ariel, she made her deal in the dark without facing what she was giving away. We are not doing that anymore. That's your pocket tool for today. Ariel got her voice back at the end, but I always wonder, did she ever understand why she gave it away? Because that's the real work. Not just getting the voice back, but understanding the moment we decided, without even knowing that we decided, that silence was safer than being heard. That is the performed woman. And this channel exists for her. In case you don't know me, I'm Sheila Madilagat. And if you recognized yourself anywhere in this video, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Come home. You've been away long enough. If this video made you think of someone, a friend, a sister, or a woman who gives everything and asks for nothing, send it to her. She might not have the words yet. Maybe this gives them to her. Like this video if something landed. It tells me to keep making this kind of content. Subscribe. I post a new video every week, and I promise it will never be boring. And drop in the comments, where in your life have you given your voice away? Even something small. I read every single one. See you next week. Take care of yourselves and shine bright. I mean that.